Hey y'all, this is Curlinda with Curlinda Can Cook, and today we are coming back here with another toe tapping, finger licking, lip smacking video. We are going to be making some down home homemade beef stew. So let's get ready, let's get set, let's get cooking. Here we have our beef in our bowl. We are going to get ready to season that. Before we do, we are going to go ahead and get our oil heated up and start to make our beef stock. Alright y'all, so to get started with our stew beef, the first thing that we want to do is make us a beef stock for our beef so that we'll be able to have us some liquid to it later. And this right here is what we're using. We're using beef flavored bouillon, okay, that we have put into 4 cups or 1 quart of water. We have our oil here seasoning, or we have our oil here heating in our pot so that we can get ready to season our beef, and then we are going to move on to the next step. So y'all, to get started with preparation for cooking our meat, the first thing that we're going to do is season our meat generously with some seasoning salt. And that's all we're going to put on the meat itself so that we can take some of the freshness off. And we are going to stir our seasoning up in it really good like so. Now here you'll see that I have this silver pan right here. Once we fry our meat and get it good and brown, we are going to put it in this pan because that's how we're going to bake it off in the oven, okay? So let's just go ahead and get this all stirred up. And the bulk of our seasonings are going to go inside of our flour. We want to go ahead and give it a nice flavor before we fry it all up to incorporate with our beef stock that we are making over there, okay? So let's just go ahead and get this stirred up, then we're going to season our flour. Now it is time for us to get our flour all seasoned up. So what we're going to add in here first is some Everglades seasoning. We're going to add us some onion powder. We are also going to add us some Tony's Creole seasoning. We're going to add some Mrs. Dash into the mix as well. We're going to get us some garlic salt going on over here, followed by some paprika. And then we are going to finish it off with some Italian seasoning. Now, the reason why I'm putting Italian seasoning here is Italian seasoning is like a combination of like thyme and sage and oregano and all of that. So instead of add it separately in this dish, I'm just going to go ahead and put it into our flour, and then I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of regular salt. And I'm just going to take my hand and just mix all of our flour up like so to incorporate all the seasonings into it. And then now we are going to get ready to fry up our meat, honey. Alright y'all, let's get this party started. Now what we're going to do, we have our broth here that has come up to a boil. We're going to go ahead and turn this down low to keep it warm because everything is all incorporated with that. Now we have our oil hot enough for our stew beef to go into, and we're just going to dredge it in some flour, honey, and throw a few pieces right on in there. Now with our stew beef, it's not going to be completely cooked, but what we are doing is just browning it in this flour. Now, one reason why I brown my stew beef in the flour, y'all, is because the flour helps to thicken the gravy in the end while the stew beef is baking in the oven, okay? You can take your flour and, or I'm sorry, you can take your stew beef and you can make a slurry if you want to, or you can just let it cook on the stove and add your flour later. But because I am putting this in the oven, because ain't nobody got time to keep on standing up watching this stove for no 3 hours, I just take mine and throw it in the oven, and I'm going to bake it on 350 degrees for 3 hours. And once we come out, it's going to have a nice, rich, thick gravy to it. And we are also going to cut up our vegetables in this as well, and we'll add those towards the end because we don't want them to be overcooked in the oven. Now, if you have not already done so, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you turn on your notification bell so that you will be notified of all the delicious dishes that we create up here over on this channel. And you won't miss a thing, okay? Let's just go ahead and get this fried up. And once it's time to take it out, I will show you what you're going to be looking for. Alright, y'all, so we have finished browning our first batch of stew beef. And what we're going to do is just take this out of our oil and put it over into our baking pan that we are going to be baking it in the oven, okay? Y'all, this smells really, really good, okay? Now all we're going to do is just put it over there and start cooking on our next batch. Now, if you get crumbs in your oil, to me, that is okay. Because in the end, I'm going to use those crumbs in my oil as seasoning for my finished stew beef. Alright, so we have gotten all of our meat out now. What we're going to do is go ahead and start on our second batch. So you're just going to repeat the process that you did the first time. Dredge your meat, and you're going to put your meat right into your oil and let it begin to fry. Now with this stew beef, y'all, I must say too, because I know y'all probably looking at it like, well, why some of it got bones in it and some of it don't? Because when I went to the meat market, I actually got two different kinds of stew beef. I got the regular stew beef because I wanted to make sure that I had a lot of the small pieces with no bones. But I also got a couple pieces with the bone in it because my husband loves the stew beef with the bone in. So I asked my butcher to give me some with the bone in as well. That way, I know that I was pleasing everybody with the end of this finished stew beef dish. So, that being said, you can make your stew beef the bone-in stew beef. You can make your stew beef the bone-out stew beef. Or you could do like me and just mix it up some, okay? The beauty in it is no matter how you make it, it's still going to turn out the same. It's just a matter of personal preference of what kind of stew beef you like. Now what you see me doing here is just moving around my meat in the pan so that I can add more meat. Alright, I think I'll probably get one more piece or so in there, and then this batch is going to be ready to just cook off. Alright, y'all, so there we go. I'm just going to let this batch fry up and brown just like I did the first batch. And when it's done, we'll be back. Okay, y'all, so we are ready to take our second batch out, and here we go. Now, one thing I want to share with you all is that I am frying my meat on a medium high, and I'm doing that because I want to brown my meat, but I'm not trying to get it hard like if I were trying to get a crust on it, as if I was like frying chicken or pork chops or something like that. I want my meat to stay rather soft, but I am browning it. And I want it to stay soft because the coating is also going to trap the moisture in it to keep it nice and juicy and tender for us, okay? So that's my reason for doing that, and that's why you see I'm getting crumbs in my oil. But that's okay because, like I said, I'm going to use those crumbs later for seasoning. So I am doing that on purpose. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the process again to start another batch of my meat. And I'm going to continue doing this until I get all of my meat brown. And then we're going to add our broth into it and put it in the oven. Okay? Now with this batch of meat right here, what I'm going to do while I have this batch cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up my vegetables so that I will be able to have my vegetables ready for my stew beef when the time comes. And again, if you have not already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you turn on that notification bell so that you'll be notified of all the delicious dishes that we make over here on this channel. And honey, you won't miss out on nothing. Be sure to share this video with a friend, a family member, a neighbor, a co-worker, anybody who you know that would like to impress somebody by making a delicious dish, okay? So let's make sure that we do that and get that all together. Alright, y'all, so we are down to the final few pieces of stew beef that I'm going to be putting in here. And you already know how this process goes. So I'm going to go ahead and let these cook up, take these out, and by the time you see me again, we are going to be chopping up some vegetables and getting ready to get this stew beef in the oven, honey. Alright, y'all, let's get the show on the road and get these vegetables on chopped up here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and slice up my celery in some thin slices. And I'm only going to use 2 stalks of celery. I have 1 tomato that I'm going to cut up in here, and this is just a regular beefsteak tomato that I am going to dice up in here. And then I have 1 whole onion. This right here is 1 16-ounce package of baby carrots that we're going to throw in here. And then, of course, I have my white potatoes. Now, if you're a person that, you know, you don't have all of these vegetables or don't want to use fresh vegetables or don't have time, whatever your reason is, go ahead and you can either get you some frozen mixed vegetables or get you a can or 2 of mixed vegetables and put into your stew beef, as well as a can of sweet peas. Because if you buy stew beef out of the store, most of the time that's what you find in it. It's just mixed vegetables and sweet peas. All I'm doing, y'all, is just taking these leaves and folding them back and just chopping this right along with my celery. Alright, and we're going to throw that on over in our bowl. Like so. Take our onion, slice it in half. I can use that. And we're not going to cut our onion too small, but we're not going to have it too big either, okay? Like so is how we're going to do this. Put that right on in our bowl. Then we're going to do the same thing to the other side of our onion. And of course, we're going to cut up our tomato and our white potatoes. So, alright, y'all, that's pretty much it. We got our vegetables and everything already together. And we are about to take this meat out so that we can get it in the oven, honey. Okay, gang, so we have our meat all done. Everything is all browned up on our stew beef, and we have our vegetables cut up. We also have our broth here. What we're going to do is just take our broth and pour it over our meat like so. And y'all, we're just going to let this bake in the oven. Now, remember I told you we're going to bake it for 3 hours, okay? But I'm not going to add my vegetables now because I don't want them to overcook. So what I'm going to do is put my lid on this and let this go ahead and bake for 2 hours. And it is going to start to thicken and get a nice gravy to it. Then after 2 hours, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add my vegetables so that they will be done, but they won't be overcooked, okay? So let's go ahead and get this in the oven. We have our vegetables here. What we're going to do is just cover them with some saran wrap and put them in the refrigerator so that our potatoes don't oxidize. Or you could just wait to the end to cut your vegetables up. That's totally up to you. Alright, so let's get this in the oven, get this show on the road, honey. Alright, y'all, so here we go. We are at our 2 hour mark. And what we're going to do now is give our stew beef a really good stir. And y'all see how the flour made us just a really nice, good, thick gravy? That's what we want. Now, if you want to, y'all see it's already falling off the bone. And we still got a whole nother hour to go. Now, if you want stew beef that you don't add any vegetables in, hey Grayson, you could just keep your stew beef at this process right here and have stew beef and gravy, honey, okay? There is no law that says you have to have vegetables. But y'all know how we do it here in the South, honey. We put them vegetables on in there because that's how Grandma and them did it, okay? So what I've done is I've given my meat a good stir. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste what I have going on here before I add my vegetables in, so that I can make sure my flavor is where I want it. So let me just go ahead and give this a good taste. And that right there, y'all, it needs absolutely nothing. Hi, Grayson. Y'all hear my little Grayson in the background over here. He's trying to scare me, okay? So I guess I'm supposed to be scared. Now what I'm going to do is add half of my vegetables in. And I'm going to give them a good stir. Y'all see that right there? Yes, honey. That's a whole lot of love right there. So we're going to stir these vegetables on in like so. We have our white potatoes, our onions, our carrots, y'all, our celery, our tomatoes. We have all of that. Okay, Grayson, I'm scared. We have everything going in right now. And we're just going to mix it all up real good into our stew beef like so. And we're going to go ahead and put our lid back on this, y'all, and pop it back in the oven for another hour so that our vegetables can get all nice and tender. Like I said, we want them done and cooked, but we don't want them overcooked, okay? And that steam in here is going to do the trick. So, all right, y'all, I will see y'all in 1 hour. Here we go. This is the moment y'all been waiting for, to see all of this deliciousness going on in here. Now what I'm doing, I'm just going to open this up. I literally just took this out of the oven, y'all, so it is extremely hot. Y'all see that cornbread cooking over there? I got that whole cake cornbread going on because it won't be now another way. Y'all see this? My honeys. Yes, darling, yes. Baby, it is time for us to plate up so we can eat up. Yes, indeed, honey. You see it all the way. Honey, yes, yes, yes. That stew beef right there, baby. Now, I'm not going to show y'all how to make the cornbread in this video. I do have another video with cornbread on it. If y'all want to see how to make that whole cake cornbread, look at my collard green video, and it is on there. All we're going to do is give our vegetables a good stir in. Y'all see this? Baby. Yes, indeed. Our vegetables are nice and tender, but they are not falling apart. Let me get me a fork to show y'all how tender this stew beef is. Honey, look at this. You see that right there? Yes, honey, yes. You see that? Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, honey. And that's one of the bigger pieces, too, with the bone in it. My husband, he gonna be licking his fingers and his toes with this meal. He told me today, honey, I want me some stew beef. So guess what honey got? Honey got him some stew beef. Good and tender, y'all. Look at that. Look at that, honey. You know you want some, huh? Here you go. Taste it. Oh, yes. Y'all see that gravy? All that gravy right there? Yes, honey. Yes. Alright, y'all. That's it. So it is time for us to plate up so we can eat up. all of this deliciousness we got going on over here. Because y'all know this is smacktacular, honey. Smacktacular, baby. Look at this. Let me show y'all this. Look at this. You see that, y'all? How you just, ooh, woo, 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 woo. Take that fork and put it on there like so. Yes, darling. Well, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and plate up and eat up, and I will show you all this plate fix, but y'all know what time it is. It is time for us to gobble down all of this deliciousness, honey. Look at that gravy. Yes, baby, look at that gravy. All right, y'all, I'll be right back and show y'all the plate.